So in relation to Divine's discussion about how old should clothes be made serviceable, one of the essential ways in taking care of our clothes is through washing, and that specifically is the part that I'll be discussing with you today. Now the question is there any way or are there right or wrong ways in washing our clothes? For me, there's none. We can wash our clothes in any way we want, any way we are comfortable with, or any way that we are used to. But I basically have two tips on how to properly wash our clothes when we put into consideration, the fact that we want our clothes to last longer. Alright, so the first tip, a specific tip that I'm about to give you is to choose or select a mild detergent soap. And the second general tip is never be too harsh in washing your clothes.
Another thing that we need to be mindful about is to always read the washing label instructions of our clothes.
We will elaborate on those two tips as we go along with our discussion for this part. Now, in any part of the world, there are two ways in washing our clothes. First is hand wash and second is through washing machine. Those tips are very significant in either ways. And let's start. So the first that we need to do, of course, is to segregate or to sort our laundry. We need to separate the white ones and the colored ones. And as much as possible, if you have enough time, it would be best if you sort out or separate the white ones, the light colored ones, and the dark colored ones. Now, after sorting our laundry, the first thing that we need to do is to soak our laundry in fresh water. So that is to make them wet and for the dirt to soften. So after rinsing our laundry with fresh water, here is where the first tip comes in. So I mentioned earlier about choosing or selecting a mild detergent soap. Of course, that is for the clothes not to be damaged, especially the colored ones, for the color not to be faded. And we also need to put in mind that when we put the soap, either powder soap or or a liquid soap, liquid detergent soap, we need to remember that we should not pour it or put it directly into the clothes. If you are using a powder detergent, then you need to dissolve, the powder first and make sure that there will be no granules left in the water. Otherwise, that is one cause of damaged clothes. After making sure that the water and the detergent soap are well mixed and combined, then that's the time that we put our clothes. So again, first would be the light ones, next would be the light colored ones and the dark colored ones. So we can actually recycle, the soapy water. We have the option to recycle that water. So if we are not using any bleach like Zonrox or chlorine for our white clothes, then we can use the soapy water to wash our light colored clothes and the dark colored ones. For as long as, if you can see that it is still usable and it is not that dark or not that dirty yet, then it's best to recycle that. Now, when you are using washing machine, it is important, okay, one of the things that you need to put in mind to take care of your clothes is to use the net bag or the mesh bag for those materials or for those fabrics that are easily stretched, such as undergarments, panties, briefs, bra, handkerchiefs, and socks. So when you purchase a washing machine, there's this net bag, so that is where you put it. So while washing your clothes, you just need to squish those clothes mildly. And I'm sure and I'm very familiar that a lot of us use brush to easily get rid of the dirts. Now the second tip that I've mentioned earlier, which is don't be too harsh in your clothes, so that's where it comes in. So when you use brush, you need to make sure that you brush the clothes gently, you brush the pants gently, and don't make it to a point that it will run the fabric itself, or it will, somehow fade or stretch it too much. After getting or removing all the dirt, then you also need to make sure that you are not too harsh, or you don't squeeze your clothes very tightly. So just squeeze it mildly or gently. So after rinsing the clothes and when all the bubbles are gone, we can now proceed to hanging it dry. When you have a washing machine, a double washing machine, then you just have to put all those washed clothes in the dryer, and yeah, again, let it do its job. But if you don't have that machine, then you need to manually hang it dry, like sun dry. So you can use a hanger, you can use a clothes clip, right, and put it on a line dryer. Now another tip that I will give you is, do not ever hang dry your clothes directly to the sun rays, because that will damage it. That will damage the color, and somehow sometimes the clothes might shrink or might get very stretched when it is, directly put under the sun. And those basically are the ways, or some tips on how to properly take care of your clothes when washing. So I hope you learned something, and stay tuned for the next reporter.